It's going to take a minute.
Good.
We have a
20.
minute. Okay.
Take 35
Sounds
million.
like he's about to get emotional.
Dude, I might actually, and I'm even going to throw Kyle under the bus here. He cried. Kyle, did you or did you not cry?
Fact.
Wow.
Okay.
Did you get it on film?
He's an easy cry.
Send it to his future wife.
We didn't get it on film, but I'll
Yes,
tell
we
you
did.
this: we did get on film, didn't we? Yeah, we did.
God, we got it. Kyle, cut it in.
Okay. Recently, remember we talked about putting up that little viral short, the one where I was talking about the Indian billionaire who started this world's largest rescue and rehab.
Yes.
I think the last time we talked about this on air, I was telling you guys I was about to go over there.
That's right.
Yep.
I went over there with zero expectations. Just to be honest, actually not even zero expectations. To be honest, I went there thinking this is going to be some shitty like roadside Indian zoo, basically. Right? I'm like, who could build like a private zoo? And it's not a zoo, it's a rescue and rehab. But I was like, it's going to be concrete boxes and
Tiger
fat animals.
King-esque.
That was what I thought could potentially be it. You know, I'd done some reading that said it wasn't that. I was so fucking blown away by this place. Dude, this place, this Vantara in India. Look, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because you can see
Your
it.
hairs are raised.
It's so unbelievable. It makes the San Diego Zoo look like a shitty roadside Mexican zoo. Their level of care, the level of husbandry, the enclosures, because it's not a zoo. By the way, this is private. It's completely closed to the public. No, I'm the first person in history to be allowed to bring a camera in there.
Oh, wow.
Because it's not open to the public, zoos are made for people to view animals. This is not. This is a rescue and rehab. So every enclosure, of which the smallest one is maybe an acre, is made to simulate an animal's natural wild environment. So it's all overgrown if it's the tiger thing and jungly with like crazy caves and stuff. So you can't even see the animals half the time because it's made for the animal. It's not made for humans to view them. And it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And not just because of the enclosures and stuff, but where Kyle cried and I got very emotional, and I'm dead serious about this, they have over 200 elephants that they've rescued from conflict situations. One of the most beautiful stories I've ever seen is you walk into this elephant hospital. I don't know what it costs, but millions and millions of dollars. They've got $1 million endoscopes for removing kidney stones from elephants. Wow. They've got a hyperbaric chamber for oxygen treatment for elephants, everything. Because all these elephants come from working basically a life of slave labor, right? Like they work in India. They're logging, they're tourism, they're cutting hay, they're doing construction, like they're used as tools there.
Yeah.
So they bring in these elephants. One of the most beautiful stories I've ever seen. There was this elephant. We walked in the elephant hospital and she's pink. Her whole body's pink. And I was like, what's going on with this Indian elephant?
Yeah.
She was in a circus and the tent caught fire.
Oh.
And the tent fell down over her and gave her third-degree burns all over her entire body, melting off her skin.
Oh my God.
Okay?
Wow.
The elephant was abandoned for dead. Anad Ambani, this guy, who I love, by the way. I never knew it. Like, he's just the most, and I'll tell you why he did all this, because I actually asked him. He heard about the story. This elephant was lying in a ditch on the side of the road, abandoned for dead, moaning in pain to death. He sent his team down there. They collected this elephant. They brought it back to Vantara, which is like 700 miles, whatever. Then they built this elephant its own hyperbaric oxygen chamber and laser therapy to walk the elephant into to treat its skin. Now it has full-time, and this is just one story of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Now it has full-time care, a guy who rubs sunscreen on it, takes it for walks it into the hyperbaric chamber, gives it laser treatments, gives it oxygen treatment on skin. I mean, it's the most beautiful thing you've ever heard. And this elephant's happy as a clam. Yeah. You know, their EQ, their emotional intelligence, elephants, they feel happy much more than we ever do. They feel sad much deeper than we ever will. So the fact that this elephant went from what I can only imagine is the most tortured being on the planet to like this unbelievably happy thing, it's like so emotion provoking. And the thing that, and I can go on and on, this is just the elephants. They have hundreds of conflict leopards. They have overcrowding of mugger crocodiles from croc farms. I mean, the list goes on and on. The thing that Kyle and I, and Kyle, pop on and talk about this for a second, but the thing that made Kyle and I like well up with tears was we went and filmed with all these elephants. In the back of this elephant hospital that you're seeing the picture of right now was it 2,000 acres, Kyle?
I think 3,000 acres.
3,000 acre forest just for the elephants to walk in every day, just to go out and walk and for elephants to be elephants. Keep in mind, these are elephants that have spent their entire life chained to something, their whole life. 2 back legs chained together, chained to a post, whatever. So we went and filmed with these elephants. We went and walked with them out in this forest. And I asked them, I said, can I take, because they have like a little museum as a tribute to these elephants. And I was like, can I take their old chains out to show them to the elephants? Because they have such EQ, such incredible emotional intelligence. I want to see what they do. And the guy was like, we've never done anything like that, but sure. So we took these chains, like big, terrible, maybe Kyle can pull up some
Now
pictures.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Dude, just wait till I tell you. I mean, Kyle's going to start crying again. But they've been shackled up like this their whole life, right? And they have these big chains where they have sores and scars on their legs and these neck things with spikes in them so that if they fight back, it pokes into them, like terrible stuff. So I grab a bunch of them. They're heavy as shit. And I take them out to this forest and I lay them down on the ground, like 100 feet in front of some of the elephants. And 2 of the elephants come walking by and they stop. And you could see them get like nervous.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, what the fuck's going on? And they very tentatively like sniff at them with their trunk and look at them. And then all of a sudden, this female girl picks up the chains, throws them across the forest, and starts going,
oh my God.
Like she's like, fuck you to the chains, you know?
Wow.
And then the other one gets in on it. He grabs some chains, throws them across the forest. And you can see them like they're not angry at us. Like we're standing me to you, Peter, from these elephants.
Wow.
But they're angry at their chains. Yeah. They're angry at their former life of imprisonment and enslavement. And this guy, this billionaire who humbly has never even said anything about this publicly, doesn't let people in anything, has gone out of his way to spend millions and millions of dollars to save these animals just out of the goodness of his heart. It's the most touching fucking thing I've ever seen.
It's incredible.
Kyle, weigh in on this.
Yeah, I mean, it was really hard. You could, like you said, you could see their intelligence. Like they were, they didn't want to come close to it at first.
Yeah.
And once they finally did, they wanted to rip those things apart.
Right.
It was crazy, man.
Yeah. You just watch them go from like that bottom EQ, lower, like scared anxiety to like realizing that they're free.
Yeah.
And then just,
And the place, I mean, I could go on and on about it for days because they have thousands and thousands of animals. They have a no say no policy. So if anything needs a home, it doesn't matter what it is, they will go out and rescue it and bring it there. And if they don't have an enclosure for it, they will build one.
That is incredible. It's like one of a kind thing in the world.
And here's my thing on it, right? And I can go on and on about the animals and the level of care, the husbandry. They have the best experts that they've brought in from all over the world. They all live at the complex. Mm-hmm. Like they've built like a housing situation. It's beautiful, really comfortable and nice.
So they live out there.
They live there with the animals, taking care of them. It's and I can go on and on. The crocodiles, the leopards, the tigers. They have all these tigers from like zoos, actual, not Indian zoos and stuff that they've rescued that have like deformities. And it's beautiful, man. But it's just, my favorite thing about it is this guy is, he's one of the wealthiest people in the world, or his family is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All these dickhead billionaires, right? The Elon Musks, the Jeff Bezoses, whatever. They're in this pointless fucking space race, which I know you like, whatever, the alien stuff.
Untrue, but
this guy is like, fuck that. If I'm going to waste my money on something, I'm going to waste it on protecting animals here on Earth and saving species that need to be saved.
Yeah.
As opposed to spending billions of dollars to dick measure against another billionaire in a space race.
We've talked about this before on the pod, dude. Like, it's like this. Why are these people trying to make it off the planet Earth, these billionaires, rather than preserving the thing that we already know sustains life for as long as possible, you know? And you said, like, I'm into that. I'm not into that. Like, I'm not into the commercial space race. I'm into aliens and UFOs that already have won that race. But, but like, dude, no, this guy, I don't want to say this. It's going to be controversial. But he's like, give us your tired, give us your hungry, give us your poor of animals.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's like this experiment where, if, and it's crazy that it's all private. I mean, once this becomes like kind of public and out there, maybe, hopefully that can inspire maybe some of these other billionaires to be like, hey, wait a minute. Like, why am I trying to get off the planet when there's so many incredible things already here that can be preserved?